I'm Candice Michel, and this is Our Community. You know, it's been a minute since I recorded my last show with Wes Bruning about preparing for disaster. It was a great show and certainly deserves listening to again, but you can always catch the podcast on our website, kciw.org. Those of you who know me know that my husband's health is deteriorating, and I'm not able to leave him alone as often as I can to come to the studio for these shows. It's all part of the aging process, and whoever came up with the phrase "the golden years" should have his head examined. At any rate, we've got a new show for you. I'm joined again today by my tres amigos, Ray Gary, Rick McNamer, and Michael Gorse, to discuss the current state of our republic that, like my husband's health, appears to be deteriorating daily. Welcome back to the show, gentlemen, and a special shout out to Ray and Simon, our technical magician today. Thank you, Ray. So, hi, guys. How are we doing?
Hola. Well,
oh, just wonderful.
Okay, considering the world seems to be falling apart at times, but we'll still...
I'm not even sure that it's at times now. It seems like it is falling apart full stop.
Yeah, just hopefully we continue to muddle through, discuss it, and see what escape routes we might have.
Yep. And I think it's important, I keep saying this, but I think it's important to talk about it.
Oh, very important.
Yeah.
To say what is actually happening, because the misinformation and the disinformation is appalling.
And as always, anything said by any of us on the radio here is our opinion, not necessarily the opinion of KCIW. And to prove that, if anyone out there wants to come on the radio and give your own version of whatever facts we might be bringing out today, kciw.org, and
yeah, you can
we can arrange that.
Absolutely, and we do have this soapbox thing that we do on Wednesdays between 2 and 3. So, if you've got a 2-minute rant, rave, or whatever,
sing a song.
Do a tap dance.
But you can come on in and have your voice be heard.
Yep. So I'll just kind of get us started. For me, it's absolutely exhausting trying to keep up with the flagrant violations of our Constitution, the failure of the Supreme Court to uphold the rule of law, the massive and pervasive cover-up of the Epstein pedophile ring, and the explosion of gun violence as the solution now for everything. It is exhausting by intent. So we'll cover some of the most egregious and crazy events, starting with the murder of the inhabitants of the poor Venezuelan boat that Trump ordered blown up in the Caribbean last week. That was about 1,000 miles, I think, off the shore of the United States. How is that not a war crime?
Well, and I can't really answer that, but what I think I can answer is there's still not solid info on whether or not they were actually drug dealers. More news sources that I've garnered the last couple days seem to indicate they were not solid evidence yet. Now I hear they were also not going our way, but returning to Venezuela. That was another little thing.
And so, even if they were drug dealers, we don't blow them out of the water without having some kind of
evidence.
What's the word?
Would that be what you're looking for?
Evidence would start.
I can't think of the word, but proof. Due process.
Due process.
The due process is, hey, you son of a...
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to kill you now.
Right. I mean, we have no solid information about who they were. We have no solid information that they were running drugs. We have no solid information that they were on their way to the United States. It seems like it's a war crime.
How do we get their trajectory from 1,000 miles away? There's a lot of things between there. But anyway, the other thing is, even if they pulled into New York Harbor with their guns and a boatload and a package marked drugs, we still couldn't do that to them. That's
due process.
Due process.
Yeah.
A really sad part of this thing to me too is reading. the two accounts of our government saying something, the Venezuelan government saying something. In the old days, the past, I would have put a lot of credence into what our government was saying. These days, I do not trust at all what's coming out. Now, again, and I'll go back to this, there's still the facts aren't there on this certain case, I don't believe. So, and with the latest biggie, it's going to get probably shuffled off. We might not even hear too much about this
Yep.
for a while.
I imagine it's going to get lost.
Ever do.
Yeah,
Anyway.
as crazy as it sounds, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this was just something to divert attention from the Epstein thing.
Yep.
Well, I guess there's that.
Because that's getting curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that he is desperate to get the attention off of the Epstein files and off of that.
There was a woman interviewed last night who claims to have been in the Epstein and involved in the Epstein thing when she was 16, and she was sitting waiting for Epstein to come out and talk to her or something, and Trump came in and started talking to her, and then Epstein came out and said, "Oh no, that's not for you," and directed him to another room. And she said that Trump said he's looking for his 16-year-old. I didn't find that person particularly believable, but
even if that particular person isn't believable, enough of the survivors have been speaking. Enough of them have, that we know that is what was going on.
And there's more and more reason to believe that the birthday card was real.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely real.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I first looked at that, I said, "Oh, wait a minute. Trump's going to type this? Why would he type it? Just handwrite it?" And actually, as amateur as that silhouette is, it's actually pretty, it was even and done by some. So he had somebody do it. I doubt that he sat down and did all the typing so it perfectly, but he has staff that could do it.
And it's clearly his signature.
And it's been over there on the island since long before this mess started. So.
And I think we can be relatively sure that the stuff that is coming from the estate, which is where that birthday book came from, is legitimate. Because one of the guys, the executor in charge of the estate, is an attorney. You're careful if you're an attorney.
The thing I heard about the signature, people's signature changes all the time. If we went back to how I signed my name 10, 12 years ago, there's differences in it. And this handwriting expert said that this compares very, very well with his signature at that time.
Yep. Michael, you look like you are just dying to get in here.
He's sick of hearing about it.
God, I hope I'm not dying.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah, exactly.
I have things to do. I don't have time to wait for your body to be picked
Epstein
up.
estate after 2006 and then later on, and all the trials, how are they in... how is it that they still are holding on to the evidence in the case? The estate themselves? How is that? Why haven't the...
because he never went to trial. He never went to trial.
You're right.
So there was no reason to turn any of that over.
And there was no reason to turn it over when Glycine went to trial either.
No.
Wow, they worked this one out well, didn't they?
Somebody did.
Whoever it was that did the fix, they might know something about this.
I think
Maybe.
they might. I mean, the fix goes all the way back to, when Epstein was in Florida and they, that whole first
Well, no,
thing.
well, the
goes back
fix. Yes,
farther.
you're right. Yeah.
But yes. I mean, it's remarkable.
Even if it came out that they could prove, okay, he's been to the island or he was good friends with, unless they could actually prove that he had been involved with underage girls, I don't think that hurt him a whole lot. And he would just bundle that into all the other stuff.
I mean, we're talking about Trump, right?
Trump, yeah.
Clearly, when he said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, he was clearly correct.
Right.
I mean, he blew however many people were in that poor boat, he blew them out of the water. He killed them just outright.
And he got away with January 6th.
Absolutely. People died there.
You know, what happened to, now I don't have a television anymore, but I try to keep
Good
up
for
on
you.
the YouTube stuff once in a while, and that can be scary too. What happened to there was a group of women that were ready to post or tell exactly who they were abused by?
I think they are still working on that.
Okay,
They're getting that list together.
I would think that needs to happen soon, because here we are, we're still batting back this stuff back and forth. I mean, I feel those ladies are horrible victims.
Yes.
And I don't know why they're really holding on. That should be, because right now, with this other stuff going on, that's going to get kicked back.
Oh, I don't think anybody's going to. I mean, there are certain people who are very front and forward on this issue.
Epstein?
Lawrence O'Donnell, for one, he
Well,
will not let it go.
Okay.
He will not let it go.
I think we may see a major musical of the Epstein victims on Broadway before we see the evidence.
That is sad. That is just sad.
Yeah, let's hope not.
But you know, putting yourself in their shoes for a minute, they fear for their lives,
Yes,
and
they
well,
do.
they should,
Yes.
because Epstein is dead.
Yeah.
So you know, it's not that nobody is.
You know, they may not be in physical danger of being killed or something like that. But remember the two ladies who were passing candy back and forth during the counting of the ballots, and the Trump organization said they were passing a thumb drive, and it destroyed both of these women.
Yeah.
Until, of course, they get the settlement. I guess they probably have the money by now, but
Honestly. So
Destroyed their lives.
exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
And there seems to be no.
And the list of women whose lives have been destroyed by this is extremely long.
Yep.
And this is why. And whenever men listen to him, they always say, well, you know, this one I believed, that one I didn't. And that's kind of the weasels we end up being in the middle of this mess. And until we figure out that these women are telling the truth, and all we need to do is listen to them. We don't need them to provide videotape of every blowjob they were forced to give.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
No, I
On the
agree.
air.
Can we just believe them?
Can we
for a
just listen?
change? Yeah. Yeah. I know.
it used to be, when I was in the business years ago, I used to be a sexual abuse investigator, is that we worked on the theory that the victim is telling the truth.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that's changed.
Oh, I think it's changed a lot.
Well, under this administration,
Yeah,
for sure.
going back to, the Judge Biden was part of it, the poor woman.
Oh yes.
The names are just flying out of my head.
Oh, she was a professor.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that, Lawrence Thomas,
Yes. Thomas.
the Supreme Court,
Yeah, the
they
Supreme
went
Court
ahead and got
justice.
him through and did not
Yeah.
believe.
No, they didn't. Anita
lady.
Hill. Anita
Thank
Hill.
you. My gosh.
I know. Oh, that was reaching back.
Well,
I know.
the golden years are
I
here.
know. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
anyway. But
Unfortunately.
no, and that was part of it.
Oh yeah.
What was the one, E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah.
Even though,
Yeah.
I get she was believed by some, but Trump has just let that go off to the side like it's no big deal.
Yep.
And I'm going to jump way around here real quick, because what we started talking about, how the men, one of, and we'll get to it, the poor guy that got murdered,
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, one of his, I looked at a bunch of, I didn't know the guy that well. I really didn't. I didn't pay that much attention. I knew he was a ultra-conservative talking head. But I ran down a bunch of examples of his speech. We're talking free speech now. He can say it. But one of them was to Taylor Swift after the engagement was announced. Reject feminism, submit to your husband, you're not in charge.
This is his feeling. I mean, that's the feeling of
that-
several religions.
Oh, no, I know. I agree.
Yep.
But I guess that's just one of the many. God, I have to keep saying this. No, he should not have been killed, murdered, assassinated, whatever you want to.
Right.
But the hate speech is out there.
He also said that I'm not quoting him exactly, but I'm sure I have the right
The gist.
idea here. Anyway, that black women in a job have taken that job away from a man because of affirmative
Of
action.
a white man.
Of a white man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, there's many. He's pretty far out there.
Yes, well, he was.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Michelle Obama's marriage was a DEI hire. Work on that one.
No,
Work on that one, guys.
I did. No, that's true.
Oh, my.
But again, so where are we going with this, though? I mean, again, we
wait a
can't.
minute, I'm not done with him.
Well,
He said gun deaths are the price we pay for the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And that's another. Okay, well, we've.
How ironic.
It is. It is. And it's also really sad that that's what our country is. You know?
A huge part of our country.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's the majority, but it's a growing minority. It seems to be.
Well, certainly we do not have a loud majority calling for, in a meaningful way, calling for gun reform.
You know, they keep saying that guns don't kill people. People kill people, but they kill people with guns. And you wouldn't require any brain power at all to realize if there were less guns, maybe we'd have less gun killings.
Well, and
Maybe.
I think that I just read something today about the Evergreen School in Colorado, which evidently happened the same day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Yeah. So of course that one gets lost because those were just kids. But the thing that I read said that he had a revolver, the shooter.
Oh.
And so he had to keep reloading. So he'd shoot and then reload and shoot and then reload. And that fact allowed less people to get impacted because there was time in between. He had to reload.
Okay. I talked at a Kennedy's forum to the current sheriff, and evidently he was saying that he's not going to, as he put it, he's not going to put much time into enforcing the maximum, the maximum capacity of guns. He says because you can always take one out and just put another one in real quickly, and that's the same thing. So then why do we need this law that allows us to have this maximum capacity? Then my second thought was, by you allowing a shooter to be able to reload and fire a whole lot of rounds puts me in danger. What about my rights? I have to be out there with have some nut running around with 24 rounds in their pistol. I should also point out that in Vietnam I was a combat soldier, carried 18 rounds in my gun.
Wow.
Like as did everybody, because the M16 would jam if you put 20 on it.
Wow. So Charlie Kirk, gets assassinated, and the FBI completely botched it. They completely botched the reaction.
Well, that's not according to Patel this morning. Did you hear him saying that good cops do good work or something like that? And the cops had nothing to do with it.
They had nothing to do.
Other than answering the phone. Oh, okay, bring him in.
Yeah, he got turned in by his father.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And, and of course the misinformation started immediately after the assassination, that the shooter was some kind of a far left trans.
The blood was still dripping when they were saying
Right?
that, yes.
And it turns out that he is a 22-year-old white male from a Republican family.
A gun family.
Yes.
Yes.
So, no, not at all. That he is not at all what you have been saying he is.
There's pictures of him lying on the ground with a machine gun. I want to say crew fed, but it's not. It's just on a tripod, and then another one with a bazooka or a recoilless rifle. And
It's crazy. It's
Well, and
crazy.
and again, all the facts aren't even out yet.
No.
So a lot of speculation. Social media has exploded, of course, like it always does.
Yes.
And so here we are. We still don't really know what did he bend left, bend right. I don't know, and that's how ugly it has gotten. When will we know? I don't.
Well, and they, if you look at what happened in the aftermath of that, first of all, evidently the field officer from Utah didn't show up on time, or they were waiting for him the FBI field officer. They were waiting for him, something. But they also detained 2 suspects who had nothing to do with it. It's like, really?
yeah, and they were announcing almost immediately that we have them. We
Yeah,
have suspects. Yeah.
The fact that they were detaining them is not an issue
No.
if they thought they had somebody, but the facts that they were out there bragging about
Publicizing
it,
it,
publicizing it before you have any confirmation.
Yes, exactly.
It's just bad police work.
No, it is. It really is. Because think about all of so this guy was still on the loose. So think about all the people out there who really should have been concerned, who were just being told, oh, no, you don't have to worry. We've got him.
It's just fortunate that Dad didn't take them to the vacation house they have out in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's
Put them
almost
away for a while.
It's almost as ridiculous as the Secret Service having their protectee shot and then picking him up and holding him up in front of people for another 20
Yes.
seconds before they leave the stage.
Yes.
Silly,
Yeah. Yeah.
bad policing.
Yeah. So it's either stupidity or it's planned.
It's not good policing.
No, it sure isn't.
And it's all the fault of that radical, violent left.
Yeah, the leftists caused this one.
And I think they're talking about having Charlie Kirk lying in state or something in the.
Oh,
He's already been flown around on Air Force Two and
this
Medal of Freedom, of course.
Like he's some kind of a hero. In what world is he a hero? He was
I
somebody
guess,
who had an opinion who was
well,
talking about it.
I guess he is to some of the MAGA people. He's got a lot of the young people all wound up on what he talks about. But this administration, of course, is going to use this whole thing as
A jumping off point.
jumping on, launching pad, whatever you
Exactly.
want to do. I was even thinking about our local people that go through the harbor, I guess, weekly with the Trump signs. I wonder if, and the blaring horns, I wonder if this is going to exacerbate that little.
Oh, I can tell you that already that
I mean, that,
if
that's
you go on Brookings neighborhood,
okay.
the posts are unbelievable.
Okay, well.
Unbelievable.
I'm okay with making a hero out of him as long as the emblem at the bottom of his statue is he got the Epstein files released.
I don't
Wouldn't happen.
I don't think those files are going away. I really don't. I
They
don't.
aren't going away, and what he was championing when he met his unfortunate demise was exactly doing that.
Yes.
So maybe he needed to be shut up by somebody. I don't know.
Somebody even far
leave it to
right.
Michael.
Well, it definitely is a theory that is being floated, of
Really?
course.
Well, I
yes,
think
that it was the far right
Oh,
that
yeah.
took him out.
These days, I think the minute something like this happens, the conspiracy theory
Oh, yeah.
are just out there.
Yep.
And let's remember that nobody in the history of humanity has ever conspired with anybody about anything, not ever, not once. And anybody who says that any two people could even be considered as conspiring, they must be the nutcases.
That's true.
Because conspiracy is a word
Never
that has
happens.
never occurred.
No, never happens.
So in my limited, like I said, no TV. I do go on. I have my own Facebook thing, social media. Try not to get too overly wrapped up. But a biggie that I've been seeing, and I'm sure everybody's heard this, that they're using they're telling people, a lot of people are celebrating his death.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Well, and I guess some people are, but I don't think it's as, you hear the MAGA people, it's like every other person in the world is celebrating the fact that he got killed.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we have been bringing up the reasons he has incited people, but I don't think anybody that I know of is actually just jumping and skipping rope that he's gotten killed.
Everything I see a lot of stuff on YouTube and on television as well, I guess, where there are very prominent, well-spoken people who are saying, no, he's not a good guy, and pointing out all the things like demeaning black women, and
Yeah.
but I've never heard anybody say that they're glad. And they all started out by saying, "No, this is not the right way to deal with this."
And it
violence."
isn't. And
No,
it
it isn't.
isn't. I mean, if you actually think that civilization is a good idea, some of us do, I guess. This isn't the way you settle things. You don't pick up a gun.
Ironically, maybe this is a reach, but to me, I think of the way Trump talked about who I considered a hero, John McCain, the way he dissed him and talked about him after he passed. It's not quite celebrating, but he sure didn't give him his props, if you will.
Or how about him taking the prize away from the actor whose name I can't think of?
Which prize would?
Oh,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah,
Good,
he's
good
the
job,
guy,
Ray.
he's the guy that everybody loves. He always plays these great roles.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. He was going to get this award, and Trump stopped it just because he didn't like him, or just because Hanks criticizes him.
And
What a
here's-
childish little boy
Oh,
he
he's,
is.
he's a dictator, and he wants things exactly his way. And I'm just not seeing the pushback. Not to the extent that I was hoping I'd see the pushback. I mean,
Pushback from who?
from anybody who has any common sense and power.
About Trump's moves.
Yes.
Like that.
I mean, really, the Supreme Court is rolling over. They're rolling over.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer these days.
Since 2000,
Yes.
only since 2000.
Yeah, only since.
So they were already in the boat at the point in time in 2006 when Epstein got the sweetheart deal.
Yes, they were.
How do we solve the problem today if we define the problem as new, and the problem isn't new, it's really very old, and we refuse to understand how far back this issue goes and how long we've been captivated by this, and they own all the news outlets.
Yep.
Every single one. We are traumatized daily with new, bizarre stories, asked to interpolate that as some sort of a understandable fashion of having a life on planet Earth. It just isn't. And until we figure out what to actually call our problem, we cannot solve our problem. But we've been living with it for a very long time.
You talk about them owning all the news networks or all the news services. I was absolutely shocked on the day that these guys were killed in the boat. How low key the mainstream news
Yep.
didn't really act like it was a big deal at all.
I mean,
I don't know if it came before the
Biden-
football score or after.
I know. I mean, if Biden had done that, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Holy moly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to be educated a little bit on all the news sources. You couldn't include PBS into that, could you?
I hope not. Doesn't seem
think
like it.
they're
Yeah.
still. BBC is from
Yeah.
across the pond.
Right.
But I do listen to BBC, and I still listen to PBS. I think that they so far have remained pretty middle of the roadish.
They always
That's
have.
the way to say that. Maybe that's not the
Why
correct way.
NPR and PBS don't exist anymore. Let's start with that.
I've heard them.
Well, not for long because they've just been
granted,
canceled.
they're on the ropes. I agree.
No, their funding has been canceled. The organization.
That's just the government funding, which is only a relatively small percentage of their funding.
Well, no, it was a large percentage, but it was only a percentage. And you're right, it's not 100%.
There are a lot of independent
but they have been
stations.
increasingly, PBS and NPR both have been increasingly dependent upon funding from the Koch Foundation and separate different right-wing organizations. So they've been trending less lefty for quite a while, in point of fact. And the entire local news scene and local newspapers were taken out of existence by hedge funds who bought them up, separated them into their component parts and sold them for profits and then closed the organization. So that's why we can't have news aggregators in our communities anymore. That's why nobody writes stories like Lori Stoddard anymore, because you're not allowed to. Your organization gets bought up and canceled by a hedge fund.
So far, ours has not.
We are not
'Cause we're so
profitable
small.
enough to, nobody.
Have we had any offers?
No, we have not. Which is
We are entertaining them, though, folks. So if you have a bid you'd like to make on KCIW,
Yeah, and we want those bids to go to the individual volunteers, not to the organization.
make your check payable to Ray, R-A-Y, Gary, G-A, no.
I need a new pickup to start.
So speaking about money, one of the issues that is actually in front of us pretty hot and heavy is there's a government shutdown looming.
Yes.
The end of September, we run out.
Boy,
will we
really
notice?
don't need them right now. I mean,
How will you notice?
I'm sick and tired of this.
Yeah, I don't
Isn't
blame you.
everybody- I'm sick and tired of this
Yep.
crap. Is it every time? We go through it every time. And it's the last, I mean, I don't know about both sides anymore, but that is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what else can I say about that? It happens every time. I don't know. That one really ticks me off, and I don't have a solution.
They've got it turned around so badly that there is a logic at this moment in time being put out, and I haven't really dialed in on what to make of it, that it's the Democrats who should shut everything down right now until we make things better. Now, would that make things better? Hell if I know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, the problem, when you were talking about what the problem is, the problem is that we have allowed our political system to devolve from representative government to basically capitalism gone awry, and without actually changing the system, no repair of it, no Band-Aid is going to actually work. I mean, the majority of the people in Congress have been bought and paid for. I mean, they have.
On both sides, too.
Yes,
I mean, let's
exactly.
not...
No, I'm not.
I will agree on that one on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty ugly.
And that's how it got to be as ugly as it is, guys.
I agree.
And so these are the things we just...
And we'll never get the money out of politics because there's money in politics, and all the
Unless
networks
you
that
somehow-
give millions of dollars every cycle, and
Unless you completely redo the system so that there can't be.
Isn't there a system in Britain where I know the campaigns can't last very long, but are they funded the same way ours are?
I don't know.
No,
That I don't know.
no,
Okay.
no. But it also is a completely different form of system,
Right.
not our republic and with our electoral college. It's,
Different.
It's
completely
what
different.
do they call it? They have multiple parties, for one thing,
Right.
where a party can rise out of nowhere and achieve some power. The unfortunate reality at this point over in England is that the current, they're like the corporate Democrats. They're the current left-wingers that are in power in England right now are trying to do the austerity thing of the 1990s, and it is completely out of touch with where the people are coming from, so nobody likes it. It's almost as if they were brought in there to bespeak an unpopular message to get the other guys back in office.
Shocking.
Oh, my God.
And see,
Nobody
that's
could have
the
thought of that.
And that's the problem, right? Is that everything that happens, if you take it at face value, you're probably getting conned because it's probably not.
That's true.
I have
You always
confidence
say,
in that.
okay, now what's the rest of the story?
Yeah, exactly.
What is it really happening?
Right.
I have confidence in that.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have confidence in all confidence men.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they're called, why they're called confidence men.
That's right. That's exactly right. And of course, they appear to be honest and trustworthy and all of that, of course.
Until morning.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing, troops in the American city streets. I mean, what the heck are we doing?
Didn't we stop? Didn't they stop? Didn't Pritzker and the mayor in Chicago stop that? Haven't they backed off? Isn't the people heading for there have taken a left turn and are going to Memphis now?
I did hear that Memphis is next on the list. I didn't see what had happened in Chicago.
So what are these guys actually doing? I know I've seen pictures of them raking leaves and things like that, but
Yes.
are they stopping people who they need to be
I think
frisked or something, or are they just making an appearance?
I believe they've been stopping and arresting certain people that didn't deserve to be arrested. Or,
Really?
or
profiling.
But these guys are not cops. They're whatever their MOS is in the National
ICE?
Guard. No. Don't talk about ICE. I'm talking about
The military.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The National Guard people.
Oh, okay. All right.
Believe it or not, there are rules and things you have to know to arrest people.
Nobody's following the rules anymore. It's like,
But I guess my question is: are they doing anything? Are they stopping crime? Is crime?
oh, they're not stopping. Well,
It was a great thing with Trump last night or a couple of nights ago. He went to dinner with some people in a restaurant, and he does this stupid thing where he's standing out in the middle of the street. He says, "I couldn't before the National Guard came here. I couldn't stand here like this, and it wouldn't be safe." And in the background, there's all the
Protest.
Secret Service people around him.
but the protesters were in the restaurant.
That's right, but he did get jeered in the restaurant.
Yes,
yeah.
he absolutely did. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what happened in Chicago. I did not see anything blow up. And quite frankly, you don't mess with Chicago. You just don't.
Well,
You don't mess with those people. They're hard line. They will defend their city.
how hard? Here we go. Are we talking again? I think about Jesse Waters is one of the people that have been ramping up the violence, basically calling it this is going to be war, and that's verbatim, but it's pretty much advocating violence against the the radical left, and
Yep.
who they feel is guilty of the murder.
My way of handling that, if I lived in the city where those people were, I would get everybody I knew to just kind of walk around with them, walk all around them, and just kind of annoy them. And what are you going to do about it, kind of thing. There was the guy, of course, who hit somebody with a meatball sandwich, and they tried to indict him for a felony.
But the immigrant that was in the car and evidently hit the policeman, he's dead now. That policeman took him out.
I don't know about that one.
They were trying to detain him, and he wouldn't be detained because you know what that means if you're detained. And he tried to get away in the car and hit one of the, I don't know if it was a policeman or an ICE person, who it was, and they killed him. They shot him dead. So yeah. It's not. It's just. I think that we are so close to violence erupting in a way that can't
Well,
be easily stopped. We're so close.
if we were on the old nuclear clock, they used to have a 1 minute to midnight. If we had a violence in the streets type of thing, it's getting there.
The old nuclear clock still exists,
I
and
think it does.
we are much closer to midnight today than we have been
Yeah.
in the past.
It-
The good news is that Mr. Trump's called for violence in the streets over and over again for as long as he's been on the scene. Seriously, he can work the levers of government, which he now controls. But whether it was in New York during his trials or now, he still hasn't been able to get human beings who support him and hate the way he hates to amass in numbers in the streets. All he can do is create some stochastic violence by influencing people who are willing to do his nonsense for him. And as long as that's the case, we are not a 50-50 country. We're a 75-80 to 20-25 country at worst, and the 80% don't really want a civil war and would like for the BS to simply stop, I believe.
I've
think
heard
you're
different numbers, and I hope yours are correct. But what about the January 6th? He incited
Yeah,
those people
that's
to riot.
unfortunate.
What about it? So he gets a handful of people that he can bring in for the weekend to do his nonsense. The problem with January 6th was that our legal system didn't deal with it. They ran away.
Yeah. He should have been.
They refused to deal. They refused to indict the people in the Willard War Room who created the event and knew exactly what was going on. For the same reason, Short didn't want the president's. What's
I
his
can't
name?
help you.
Yeah, sorry.
You're talking about Veep.
Obviously, I can't
The
either.
chief of staff was supposed to go over to the Willard War Room the night before January 6th and coordinate events. He refused to go because he was told, if you go there, you will look like you're part of the thing, and you tie the White House to it. Well, the White House was already tied to it, and we know all of this.
Right.
We know he was burning papers in his fireplace in the White House. So the things we know and the things we've never dealt with are huge.
Yeah.
And again, you can't solve a problem if you refuse to see the problem.
No, and they're biting us in the butt every time we move.
Yeah.
I guess my point was he did incite the violence.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he-
I think it could have gotten a lot worse.
You know, it's
And
interesting.
it can be a lot worse.
Yeah,
coming.
and it's interesting because there was, I mean, the cops held the space. You know, I mean, they got pummeled, and you know,
But well, I was watching that live. I happened to be watching the news that morning, and I'm screaming at the television, where the hell are the cops?
yeah,
You know, they had like one every 50 feet or something with the bicycle racks, and why didn't they expect there to be those kind of problems? Do we not have the Proud Boys infiltrated? Do we not have all these other groups infiltrated?
I don't think they did expect that amount of people, violence to attack the Capitol like they did. I mean, that's my opinion.
They had 10,000 National Guard standing by and refused to deploy them.
and that
There
was
you go.
Trump's call.
And that was Trump's call.
Okay.
So
Yep.
they knew exactly what kind of problems they might have, and they knew where the which problems they wanted to exacerbate, and they chose to do it. One wonders whether or not putting the military out into our streets is militarizing our cities. What about refusing policing when bad things are going on. How is that not militarizing our cities in a whole different manner, but by not putting the military out there? So we are now worked into a corner once again, because every place we turn around, we're in the back of a corner. We're stuck in some cul-de-sac wondering how come we can't get out of 1865 or 1917 or 1937 or 1944. How come we cannot get out of every single crisis humanity has ever had coming back at the same time all of a sudden? And we're wondering, why is this happening? It's happening because it's a plot. It's happening because somebody wants it to happen. You cannot create those many coincidences simultaneously without creating them, without coordinating them. And this is where we're at. Meanwhile, we have the Jewish people I feel so horrid for all of us, actually, but I feel horrid for the Jewish people who are being screwed by their own titular
government
leadership, the same way we are here, the same way the Russians are. Russians are good human beings.
Of course.
All over the world. We have a huge number of Russians here in America, and most of them are wonderful, loving people.
Well,
they just want to live.
And here again, the two biggest problems, everybody has an opinion on that, but in the world, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, not much happening there from our point of view, I don't think, with this administration, especially now that everything's going to be pushed to this right now. The Charlie Kirk assassination, going to overwhelm a lot of other stuff. So this is a pie in the sky, but somebody on the internet wrote this down, and I'll just say it. It sounds probably ridiculous, but it sounds like, I think both sides could agree that gun violence is a problem. Whatever way you want to fix it, gun violence is a problem. So this was addressed. It said, what about trying to get the Dems, the independents, and some leaning Republicans to try to put together a bill to restrict and guns and, gosh darn it, possibly, anyway, to go through the more background checks, restrict the guns, restrict the powerful guns, and do it in the name of Charlie Kirk, the God, I can't remember the lady and her husband in Minnesota that got killed, that type of thing.
Hortman.
Thank you. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous.
It doesn't sound ridiculous.
I have not a solution, but a good step in the right direction for the gun problem. I've said this many times before, and for some reason or other, it hasn't gone national. Maybe I need a bigger voice.
Maybe.
If you want to drive a car in this country, you have to get a license to drive the car because there's a potential you could hurt somebody else. You want to fly an airplane. You want to cut people's fingernails. You want to, in some place you need a license to wash a dog. But in America, you can just walk in and get a gun. You can get a gun if you're on a no-fly list. You cannot buy a ticket to Chicago, but you can buy a gun and hitchhike to Chicago with your gun. I guess we need to have a license and not a fooling around license. I mean, years ago, I decided I wanted to become a hunter when I lived in New York, and I mentioned it to a friend of mine. I said, I've got to get an NRA training course. And he says, forget about it. And I saw him a couple of days later, and he gave me a card because a friend of his was an instructor. So, I mean, not that kind of a license.
Part of the problem, then.
But a license that you actually have to learn about the gun, especially learn about when you can and when you can't shoot somebody.
Yep.
And lots of different things that, about 40 hours of my police training in the academy was guns, when you use them, when you can't use them, how to shoot them. And then we were refreshed about every year. That and if you don't have that license, then it's a very, very serious felony.
Well, and like I said, that was a pie in the sky dream, I suppose. But And I did pull up another quote, I would say, from Charlie Kirk about gun violence. Said, "It's worth it to have some gun deaths every year to have our God-given right to the Second Amendment."
How do we know God had anything to do with
Well,
that?
well, again-
I've never read the Bible, but I don't think
Well,
he ever
he-
mentioned guns.
Try it.
He did.
Again, just the
It's the irony of that.
the
yeah.
irony of that.
Yeah.
But boy, if that would ever happen to get some more sensible gun laws, you could how you describe sensible.
Yeah, there are politicians who say there's not a thing we can do. Everything that is being done is
Well,
being done. Yet Trump can go walk all over the Constitution and every other way. Why can't somebody walk over the Second Amendment?
Right. Well,
Well,
And there we go.
so
we had an assault weapons ban for a long time, and we didn't have the kind of gun deaths that we're having now.
We didn't.
And those didn't start up again until after we reversed ourselves and took away that assault ban.
So how did that ban work?
And for whatever it's worth, you all are forgetting where Jesus Christ on the Mount said, "And thou shalt not take away any capacity of the magazines." I don't understand
Michael,
why we don't understand
cannot
that.
Remember that?
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't. But I keep thinking "thou shalt not kill" is something that we all were taught,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't it? I mean,
Unless
there's so many different caveats.
For what it's worth, I started to dial in on the fact that as a society, we were going the wrong direction when growing up as a Catholic and believing in the Fifth Commandment. My Catholic church started to devalue the concept of "thou shalt not kill" as I was listening to what they were talking about doing.
Yep.
And started mixing politics in with
Yep.
God,
Yep.
But then there's the eye for the eye thing too.
Yeah.
So you kept some.
That
what are you
Jesus
supposed to do?
never
Sit-
said an eye for an eye.
That's Old
Jesus
Testament.
never said an eye for an eye.
No,
Somebody-
that's Old Testament. Old Testament.
Old Testament. Does Old
There's
Testament
definitely a
has that
difference.
expired?
Yes. Well, it hasn't, but it should.
You can still stone your brother for planting two different kind of crops side by side if you believe in the Old Testament.
And according to the Bible, you can stone gay people to death. That should be their
And-
punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Is that Old Testament too?
No, by the way, it isn't, because the Bible doesn't talk about gay people,
Oh,
so far as I know.
okay. Every time I think of stoning, I think of the Monty Python routine.
I do too.
There's no women at the stoning.
Right.
You've never seen that one?
No, I don't. Monty Python's not my favorite. I don't find most comedy funny. I don't know what to say.
We'll fix you.
Thank you.
Have you seen Airplane?
The
Let's change the whole subject.
yeah, right. No, we're not gonna. I just think it. I remember we're kind of starting to run out of time, but
Yeah, we are.
But I remember hearing about the children that were killed in mass, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah. They went all the way, immediately went all the way to thoughts and prayers.
I know.
Didn't have to wait for the politicians to do it.
But I remember being one of those children. I remember being in the church at the start of the school year at the first Mass as a school. And it just sends chills up my...
But were you,
Just awful.
If you were there today, would you be more afraid of somebody coming in and shooting everybody or the nun?
I'd still be more afraid of the nun. Are you kidding me? That is a given, all right?
I've often said that we could solve a lot of school shootings just by having nuns patrolling the hallway
But only with their rulers.
or yardstick. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They taught me well for 8 years of my early life. And the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet in San Diego that taught me were actually pretty good eggs most of the time. And they were no longer using the ruler to hit people in the hand, and they didn't tape left-handers under their
You
desk.
must be younger than me then, because they were
Only
definitely
slightly.
they were definitely still using them on
Only
me.
slightly, but they were still wielding an emotional yardstick.
Yeah. All right, so we are really about out of time. It feels to me like we've just barely scratched the surface. Is that the way you guys feel?
Very
I'm
surprisingly, we
bleeding
didn't,
over here. What do you mean barely scratched?
surprisingly, we didn't solve anything.
Yeah.
Well, we've ruined our record on that one, haven't we?
I don't see any solving in any time soon. I hope I'm wrong.
You know,
It seems
I'm
kind
not.
of dark right now.
Yeah, it seems very dark.
And
Does it look as dark as it did in 1968, though?
To me, it looks darker.
Really?
Yeah,
too.
because
Well, yeah.
in '68, I was sure that we were going to win. We were going to get out of Vietnam somehow, because it just felt that way.
We are living Richard Nixon's revenge from those 1968 moments.
Yeah.
The reason we have to be decimated as far as the left is concerned today is because the moneyed people back in 68, it's taken them this long to get to the revenge they wanted on the lefties. And that's kind of the stochastic, that's the emotional vibe of where we're at today.
All right, so the rest is going to have to wait for another time. I want to thank all three of you for making the time to come on the show and for the courage and tenacity to keep resisting.
thank you for having us, Candice.
Thank you. And again, I want to remind you, if you want to come on and do a rebuttal or discuss with us or any of our people, or do your own statement, you're welcome, KCIW.
So here we are, exhausted, angry, and sad. And it feels like this could just be the beginning. Mary Gedry, who writes on Facebook under the profile Oregon's Bay Area, posts daily pieces that are well thought out, not overly complicated, and always fact-based. Her concern today is not just the United States of America, but our whole world. With men like Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump at the helm, it feels like World War III is suddenly, I don't know, a distinct possibility. I hope I'm wrong. I'm Candice Michel, and this is Our Community.